All right, now it's time to dimension our plan. And first off, we have to set some things up for dimensioning. And to do that, I'm going to go right up here to the annotation panel, click on the menu that's underneath that, and I'm going to click right here. It says Dimension Style. That's where you edit the dimension style. Okay, now I'm going to create a new style based off the standard. So I click New and just name this KCC Standard. And we're going to make that annotative. Use it for all dimensions, and we click Continue. Now, okay, so in the Dimension Style dialog box, make sure you're on the Text tab right here. It says Text Style Standard. You're going to click on these three ellipses out to the right, and this is going to give you some more stuff to change. And what you want to do is click where it says Size, click on Annotative, and also Match Text Orientation. Paper text height, you're going to type in 1/4 of an inch. And you're going to click Apply. Of course, mine's already been set, so I don't have to do that. And let's see, text placement. Okay, that's right down here. Vertical placement, we want our text to be above the dimension line. So when I click above, just watch what it does over here. Okay, so now it's above the dimension line. Everything else is good. The horizontal centered, left to right, good. And let's see, primary unit. Let's go to Primary Units tab. It says Unit Format. Change that to Architectural. Click OK. And close. And now we're ready to dimension. Now, of course, when we're dimensioning straight lines, all we have to use is the linear. Click on the little pull-down arrow, and you see you have different selections of, different dimensions that you can do. So we're going to start out with linear. And with our dimensions, the way they should show up on our paper, there's 3 lines. The furthest most line is your overall dimension of the building. The second furthest most line is your major walls, and those are walls that come in contact with the exterior walls or places where the exterior wall turns or bends. And the closest to the house is going to be your doors and windows, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with that. Okay, so first off, we're going to create the overall dimension. So I'm clicking right here on the end. On the left corner, and then I click over here on the right corner. You can go the opposite direction if you want, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to pull my dimension down. Now there's a certain place that I want my dimension to be. I want them to be equal all the way around. I don't want to have different sides being different distances from the building. And again, that just goes back to creating really nice drawings. And really neat, consistent drawings. So I want this to be 8 feet from the house. So I am going to type on the at button. So I'll hit the shift button, and it's actually at the 2. Okay, now it says at, and I'm going to put in an XY dimension. Okay, so first is my X, and I want that to be 0 because I don't want to go anywhere left or right. I'm going to tab to the Y dimension, and because I'm pulling it down, I'm going to type a negative number. So it's going to be -8 feet. And that's where the dimension line for the overall dimension should be. Next, I think I can do it that way. Yeah. All right, next, and again, I start at the corner. Even though what I'm measuring on this line are going to be major walls, I still start at the corner and take it all the way to the other corner. So I click, and I want to find the middle of this wall, and you can eyeball it. make sure you don't have any reference geometry turned on, but just kind of get it right there in the center. Okay. And pull this down and say at 0 for the x coordinate and negative, so the other one was 8 foot, so this will be 6 feet. Okay, and that is where that line goes. Now I want to continue this, and let's see, I bet they changed something on me. Let's select it first. I'm going to hover. Okay, continue dimension. Alright, as you see, they did. They never, well, actually, this is something they messed up last year. They never did fix. But see, I can't mouse over here to select anything in this box. So I'm going to have to type it in to dim continue. Okay, and now I'm going to take it to the center of the door. And it's okay if you just kind of eyeball it. It doesn't have to be, well, we want it to be as exact as possible, but you know what I'm saying. So click there. And, you know, again, try to get everything even measured out right there with the tips of the line. See, the tips of the line are all about 16 or 3/32 of an inch away from the object. So you want to make sure you do that. Find the window, and if I click on the outside part of the window, or in here, you see how the line is automatically, of course it wants to snap to the middle, which is good, but you see it's automatically offset from the object. But with the door situation, we didn't have a line to go off of. Okay, and then go all the way to the end. Okay, now that is our doors and windows, and also automatically does stuff like this if the dimension does not fit, which is really good that it does that. And actually I was just supposed to do major walls, and let me, okay, now that I've marked this first major wall, alright, I want to continue these dimensions, and to do that I'm going to click on it and have it activated, and then type continue, and then select dim continue. Alright, I guess I didn't have to do it like that, but anyway, I've only got one major wall on this side, and that's this one right here. So I'm just going to stretch it all the way to the end until we get it right there. Okay. Next is going to be the line that is closest to the house, and it's going to be doors and windows. Okay, so again, starting with linear, click on the end, come to the middle of this first window. Now you got to make sure that, there we go, good spot. Make sure that this line does not actually touch the object. It's supposed to be, you know, 3/16 of an inch or 3/32 of an inch away, or it should be anyway, from the object that it is dimensioning. So I'm going to pull this down. Again, I'm going to type at X dimension. I'm not going anywhere. Tab to the Y dimension, and I am going to go -4 feet. Okay. And now I'm going to highlight that and type continue, or actually I think I discovered last time I didn't have to, but anyway, so the center of the door, so the door, I can sort of eyeball that. Center of the window, just find a center point and another center point, and then all the way to the end. Okay. So that is how you dimension. Now my text, I think, is a little bit big, so I might go back and redo that. We did that at 1/4 of an inch. I think we will go back and change that. Go back into KCC standard. Click right here next to text style. Let's make that not 3/4, but 3/32. 3/32 of an inch. Apply, close, OK, and close. That's better. That's more readable. Of course, it might be kind of hard to read on the screen, but once we print it out, you'll be able to see that really well. Okay, so we've got that under control. Now, this is a tricky one. This is going over to the east side, and we have to enter our numbers differently. We have to pay attention to where we're at on the compass. Right now we have north facing up, so that's in the positive y-axis. South is in the negative y-axis. E is in the positive x-axis. W is in the negative x-axis. So let's spin it around and you'll see what I'm talking about. Running slow there. Okay, so a linear dimension. I want an overall dimension over here, and I want this to be at 8 feet, or actually, I'm sorry, yeah, that's going to be right. That's going to be at 8 feet. Now I'm putting that in the X quadrant because coordinate, because I'm going in the X direction, the positive X direction. So 8 feet, and then tab over to Y. I'm not going anywhere in the Y direction. So I tap, oops, not O, but 0. Enter. And then our line is where we need it to be. Our text does not show up how we want it to, so we have to make one more change. Sorry to keep doing this to you, but they've made some changes in AutoCAD. They're different than what it used to be, and it is getting quite annoying. So, modify. And let's see, horizontal center view direction, left to right, right to left. That's not it. Let's go to one of these. Will tell us to keep our text alignment horizontal, align with dimension line right here. So click OK and then close, and that's what we want right there. We want that all the way around, just like that. So go ahead and finish dimensioning all of your doors, windows, and walls. So remember, this line that is 8 feet from the house are your major walls. I mean, no, I'm sorry, the overall measurement. The line that is 6 feet from the house is going to be your major walls. On this side, I'm going to have two. I'm going to have one here and one here. And then, of course, my doors and windows. I only have one door, so I'll only have one measurement there. So when I come back, I'll show you what it all looks like. Okay, now I have finished my dimensions. A couple of things to make note of, and just as a reminder, our overall dimensions go 8 feet from the house, right here. Our major walls, which are walls that come in contact with the exterior walls, those are 6 feet from the building, right there. And then the doors and windows are on the line that is 4 feet from the building. Okay, and remember that when we're on the exterior walls, we measure to the edge, right to the corner right there. On the interior walls, we measure to the center. Okay, just like all of these other interior walls measured to the center. Same with doors and windows. All doors and windows are measured to the center. All right, and let's see, another thing to mention is that on the back, or the north side and the west side of my house, I did not add an overall dimension because I already had it out here. If it's not necessary, don't put it on there. So the overall dimension was already on the front, or on the south and the east, so I did not put it on the north and the west. On the north side, of course, you see I have this little jog right here in the wall. I marked that. It's basically marked as an exterior wall, right to the edge right here. Okay, the same thing on this side. I measured the same jog from this side as well, using this line, measuring it right to the edge of that line. Okay, so this would be complete dimensions. As you're dimensioning, if you have any questions or concerns, just look at your dimensions that you're dimensioning and compare it with my picture and see if it's all the same. It always has to go from end to end, no matter which line you're on. Go from end to end. And that is it. That is your dimensions.